Well, have you done your 10,000 steps today? It's a number that's become a global health obsession in recent years, with an entire fitness industry now based around it. But a new study has found it was never based on scientific fact and is probably just a clever marketing ploy. Researchers in the US studied 16,000 women aged 45 and over. It tracked how many steps they took and followed up with them for more than 4 years. The results showed that the more steps per day, the less likely they were to die early. Those who took 4,400 steps a day slashed their risk of an early death by more than 40%. But here's where it gets interesting. At 7,500 steps, the effect levels off. Fitness expert Richard Kerrigan has looked over the study and joins us now. Richard, you can't see, I'm actually seated for this segment. I think I've taken from bed to work probably 50 steps today, so I'm well behind. Is this good news for those counting the steps? Is 10,000 more than you actually need?
I think it's good to hear that it's not the be-all and end-all if you don't hit that magic number. As you say, there was actually no scientific evidence to give that 10,000 number. And it was actually based on a Japanese pedometer. They wanted to market this, and then the US jumped on, as you mentioned. But 7,500 is, after that, they did the 7,500 step, they actually found that they didn't actually have any less of a mortality rate over that time period. So there is no real magic number, but I think the reason why people have jumped on this 10,000 is because it's a nice whole round number, and it should be fairly easily achievable just with a little bit of effort.
So the study looked at where that number 10,000 actually came from, Richard, finding, as you've mentioned, no scientific research actually behind that. Was it plucked from thin air? Are we falling for largely a marketing ploy?
Yeah, it's a strange one. As I say, it's a nice round number, and I think as long as you're doing something every single day to make sure that you're keeping your body active, that's the main thing. But there's no scientific basis to say that 10,000 is the magic number, as long as you're moving your body over a period of time.
It is a really important discussion, though, when you look at the figures here that I've mentioned, the risk of an early death slashed by 40% if you are taking those 4,400 a day. That can be quite critical to people's health.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we all know that there's no surprise in those facts that, the more you move, the less your chances are of gaining, heart disease and increasing that risk of obesity. So I think it's just common sense when it comes down to that. But the key thing, I think, when looking at those studies is that if you don't manage to hit those, it's not the 10,000. Just by doing something every single day is the most important thing. So just by moving your body, getting out there, doing something you actively enjoy, that you can actually sustain as well, and not just for those kind of aesthetic reasons, as it were.
There's a huge industry that's developed around this number, the idea of tracking devices and apps to actually monitor the number of steps that we take. Do we give up on those now? Is there a better measure, do you think, of healthy living?
I mean, I think it's a great thing. When I'm training my clients, I think a lot of them do wear these tracking apps. And it's great to see that, because you can count the calories burnt in the session, you can count the calories that you've burnt over the period of the day. You can have a look at your heart rate, which is great data to kind of feed back on and actually kind of go, right, well, over the week, this is how many calories I'm burning. But it's not the be all and end all. The most important thing when you're looking to, to have a look at your health overall, for me, I think, is making sure you're eating a balanced diet, you're cutting down on processed foods where as possible, and you're cooking as much food as you can. If you're looking to lose a little bit of weight, making sure you're in that calorie deficit. But also, when you're looking at exercise, for me, it's all about playing the long game, and playing the long game of health for life, that's sustainable. And I think, as I go back to that aesthetic reason, it's more about how you can set your body up and protect it for long term rather than these short term goals.
Good on you, Richard. Thank you very much for the update.